I want to talk about entropy and how to stop it. Over time, through experience, you try to work out the laws of life, those patterns you can observe and use to predict what will happen and how you should respond. Entropy, I've been looking at for a while, and I think it is a solid, constant law. It is the idea that things degrade without conscious effort to keep them up. To take some simple examples, if you don't clean your house, it doesn't just stay at the same level of cleanliness. It gets dirtier and dirtier. If you don't exercise, you get unhealthy. If you don't use your brain, then you lose your smarts. These are examples from the physical world, but I also believe that there is a spiritual entropy. This means that if you don't take care of your emotional state, you slowly slide into cynicism or pessimism. If you don't expose yourself to new things, you get stuck in old ways. I'm going to offer some options for your response, including writing fiction, which is my personal focus. But first, I want to go into this idea in a little bit more detail. There are certain currents in the world that always operate and pull us away from where we want to be, unless we know about them and take counteractive measures. Spiritual entropy is one of these things. It operates through numerous elements. The first is loss aversion. This is the idea that humans are more prone to avoid a loss than to seek the same gain. We feel more pain from losing something than from gaining that same thing. This tempts us to shy away from risk and to stick with what we already know. This intensifies over time. So once we have developed a particular routine, particular responsibilities, once we have committed time and effort to a course of life, then we have big sunk costs. We have invested so much time that the pain of moving away from those things, even when they don't serve us, is all the greater. That is today, but of course tomorrow it is even stronger, and the day after tomorrow it is even stronger. We dig ourselves deeper in these sunk costs. Imagine you do discover something completely new that you wish you had had in your life for years. That is going to be quite an exciting, but then also an immediately painful event. There's going to be a lot of regret there mixed in with the excitement. So we are quite tempted not to even look outside the window and see what we might be missing. Another element is laziness, I guess. It takes energy to overcome these patterns and routines. There's so much going on that our time, our energy stocks are pretty low. So in countless small ways, we may be doing very well in life, have a lot of the things that we want, but we slowly fossilize. Our path grows narrow. We find ourselves having the same thoughts. We get trapped in these ways of thinking. We end up having bigger regrets because we did not keep ourselves open to the other possibilities that may be lying just beyond what we normally see. We need a practice to counteract this spiritual entropy. This can take many forms depending on your taste, your time, your personality. The first one is meditation, which a lot of people have been trying recently. The practice here is to see things as they are, rather than automatically placing them into fixed categories. For example, if you hear sounds around you, you may think, that is the traffic, that is the birds, that is the fan, etc. Try not to do that. Hear the sound just for what it is, and then the world becomes fresh. You have released yourself from those fixed categories that make your experiences seem to replicate each other, seem to be the same over and over. You may have some religious or spiritual rituals that make you go beyond your own personal narrow interests and think about people and causes beyond yourself, beyond your immediate circles. Exercise. This boosts your mood and energy levels. This is the facilitator of going out and experiencing new things. It gives you that foundational store of motivation, of energy. And the one that I like to focus on is writing fiction. Why? Because writing, like anything creative, is about renewal. It is about bringing a new idea into the world. How does this happen? Well, it's really pretty simple. Let's go through the process. The first question is, what should I write about? And immediately, rather than just accepting and assuming your experience as it happens, you have to decide what is important within that experience and ask yourself why. The second phase is that you come up with an idea, and the first one is usually pretty boring. So you force yourself to think of another one. Again, you had that idea last week. You keep moving and moving until finally you hit something original. It takes a few goes before you get there. You will surprise yourself by what is lurking hidden in your own brain. And when you surprise yourself in this way, you get that boost of energy, the energy of discovery. It's a similar function as exercise. And this propels you to think, how can I make this beautiful? How can I make it engaging, unique? If entropy is the tendency towards decline, the falling apart of things, then writing moves towards growth and the creation of something new. There is this negative current in the world, but there are also ways to swim against it. I hope you pick one of them, and I hope you consider trying writing fiction. Let me know in the comments which one you chose, and I'll see you again in a couple of weeks.